In the first episode of Beginner Build Season 1, we broke down the show structure and the scoring criteria, and we watched the first 2 hours of Cabbage Kid 89's journey. At the end of the first 2 hours, Cabbage Kid was able to reach a skill total of 101 with a bank value of 26k GP. This episode, we will catch up with the first 2 hours of QuestChad7 and ChubbyBank69. With QuestChad, we're going to try to be as fast as possible with questing. Any skill training will be done to meet quest requirements and to make money for equipment in order to make questing easier and faster. I asked my girlfriend to review the first episode of Beginner Builds from a noob's perspective, and she said that I could do a better job explaining why I'm doing certain things. So I'm trying to attempt to do that this episode. I'd like to keep this series balanced for both new players and experienced players alike. We're going to start off by beginning all the quests in Lumbee. You can begin quests by speaking to the quest giver indicated on the minimap with a blue star. There are several quests in Lumbee, but we are primarily concerned with X marks the spot, the Restless Ghost, and Rune Mysteries for now. After we have initiated the quests, we are going to rush down to do the Stronghold of Security in order to obtain 10k GP. Quests are a thing that makes Runescape stand out among other MMORPG games, at least for me. The quests are quirky and unique. They involve a lot of in-depth lore that really ties the player to the world of RuneScape in an impactful way. I recommend players to read the dialogue and get immersed in the quest during the first playthrough, but for the purposes of this series, we'll be speeding through the quests and dialogue as fast as possible. We are going to sell off some useless items here in the general store so that we can have some money to buy wines. Wines are great beginner food because they heal 11 and they are extremely cheap. And now that we have some wine, we're going to home teleport to Lumbridge and use the one-time teleport to the security stronghold from Count Check. The stronghold offers 10k beginner money and a decent pair of boots. With the 10k in our inventory, we are going to run off to the GE where we can buy some teleports and stamina potions to speed up our questing. We're also going to buy the needed items for the Cook's Assistant quest in Lumbee. Now that we have everything we need, I'm going to suicide on this guard, which will bring us back to Lumbee and conveniently recharge our run energy. Run energy is such a pain with 1 agility, and this suicide trick really helps in speeding up the process between getting back to Lumbee and having our run energy charged. That's our first quest done, and that'll get us to 4 cooking. Boom! Now we're off to the bank to get all the gear we need. Next up, we're going to finish the other Lumbridge quests. The reason I started all of them at the same time earlier was to save time when traveling. In RuneScape, you can start as many quests as you want, and you can do steps for multiple quests simultaneously in order to save time. I'm also using the very helpful optimal quest guide on OSRSwiki, which will help me save time and do quests in a good order. I have the link down in the description for any new players. That's Ghost Ahoy done, and that gets us to level 9 prayer. That's X marks the spot done, and we're going to use this XP lamp on agility, which brings us to level 4. We also received the beginner clue as a reward, which we'll try to finish while we're questing. Now we're heading off to Varrock to finish one of the steps in Rune Mysteries and to buy some mind runes to kill some imps. We're going to kill the imps ourselves to get the beads for Imp Catcher because of the lack of GP. While finishing quests early on is highly recommendable, usually I try to make some money before attempting to finish as many quests as possible, simply because you can buy more supplies to speed up the process. Killing imps can be very frustrating at a low level because they can teleport away. I'd usually buy the beads from GE, but we're hoping to get lucky. We're going to hop some worlds and kill these implings. Nice, we got a chef's hat. That's convenient. You need it for clues and to get into the cooking guild. And then we got a yellow bead, and we got a mine talisman. This was surprisingly valuable, and now we'll be able to sell it and buy the beads from GE if we don't get lucky here. Well, we didn't get lucky, so we're back to the GE to sell some items to buy the rest of the beads. I also noticed the weeds are worth 108 GP each, so we'll be raking weeds whenever we see some to make some extra GP. We're now at the Wizard's Tower where we can finish off the Imp Catcher for 11 magic and Rune Mysteries, and that gets us to 5 quest points. We're done with Lumbee and Drainer for a while, and we're off to Rivington to quickly do the Witch's Potion, which will get us 12 magic and 5 cooking. And finally, we're off to do the Client of Kourend. I honestly should have waited a while to do this quest until I had more stamina potions, because this quest involves quite a bit of running. We wasted some time here, but it's good to get this quest out of the way. We also got 10 agility from the XP lamps received from finishing the quest. I'm not sure what to use my favor on right now, so we're just going to bank the scroll. We're finishing off the first 2 hours with 7 quests completed, granting us 7 quest points. We also have a skill total of 64 and a bank value of a whopping 8k. Next up is ChubbyBank69. This geezer will do anything for that sweet GP. He'll loot, he'll hustle, and he'll beg. Whatever money comes his way, he will take. The initial plan was to go to a PvP or bounty hunter world to loot, but I scouted all the usual spots with my main and it was pretty dead at the moment. Probably has something to do with the changes made to BH and because the Trailblazer League is going on right now. I decided instead that we're going to do the Stronghold of Security and try to make some serious gains on the 10k by using early game money making methods. We already went through that content with QuestChad, so we'll just hop straight to the part where I already have 10k. And with the 10k in hand, we're going to go to Sarah near Falador to buy compost, which we can make into super compost and sell for a profit. On the way, we're going to rake up all the weeds from Falador farming patches to make just a bit more GP. We were able to buy 4 compost packs for a total of 400 compost, and we bought some spades with the rest of the money. We're off to GE to start making that money now. Compost potions can be bought for 263 GP each. When used on a regular compost, it becomes super compost. Each dose of potion makes 1 super compost. That means that with an initial investment of 343 GP for the compost potion and 4 buckets of compost, we are able to make 1532 GP for an ROI of 347%. That's actually pretty huge for us in the early game. It's a click intensive method, but it should help us make some quick money. I'm having a hard time buying more compost potions at the moment, but we already have a pretty decent cash stack of 44k to work with. What we're going to do now is to buy some teleportation equipment and some quest items to get some early skilling levels. These are skills that I'll be using as money makers in the near future. We got all the items for Sheep Shearer, Imp Catcher, and Cook's Assistant. That's Cook's Assistant done and 4 cooking. That's Sheep Shearer done and 2 crafting. I went to buy some wine and a chronicle book, and we ran into some drop seeds, which we of course picked up. I am ChubbyBank69 after all. That's Imp Catcher done for 8 magic. We then suicided and went off to do Mistalin Mystery. This quest is a great way to get an early boost to crafting, which could otherwise be quite expensive to get up. The mirror part is a bit annoying, but we got through it pretty fast, and finishing this quest gets us to 7 crafting with a few gems to boot. Now we're going to head off back to the rowboat and fish an inventory of shrimp. With that out of the way, we're going to go back to the money zone, aka the GE, Mr. Chubby Bank's favorite spot, and with the level ups from the quest we just got, we can start skilling and making a bit of profit on the side. We're going to start off by training magic by enchanting sapphire necklaces into games necklaces. This gives us a nice little profit of around 80 to 90 GP each, while being a decently AFK magic training method. You can individually click on the spell and the necklaces to be faster, but I like the AFK nature of this method better myself. Those are some easy magic levels pouring in. I also tried begging once, just for fun and to see how people would react. A player named Fossar replied with, "You'll have a lot more success having conversations with people rather than straight begging, Chubby Bank." To which I replied,
"Straight begging is lit AF, bro."
Got him. I love playing with an alt account. It allows me so many more opportunities to have weird interactions with people without them knowing who I am or tying it in any way to my main account, so you can kind of anonymously have a little bit more fun. Another benefit to doing all of this at the GE is that players like to drop their junk, which to Chubby Bank is not junk, it's GP, baby. With 16 magic, we're done with enchanting for now. I'm going to sell off some items and buy a bracelet mold and some gold bars. This is another decent money maker and a way to train our crafting. This skilling method is also kind of AFK, and the early levels are coming in quickly. 100 bars got us to 17 crafting, and we're ready to sell these bracelets for a decent profit of around 65 GP each. The reason why we enchanted sapphire necklaces and made gold bracelets was to get the levels necessary to start making tablets. Making tablets is a great source of making GP and getting pretty decent magic XP at the same time. We're gonna start off by making some bones to bananas tablets. Before we head off to Remington, we're gonna sell off some items to make some more GP. Damn, I completely forgot that you need attack and magic level of 30 to wield the mud staff, so we need to head back to the GE and switch to water staff and get some earth runes. Making tablets is another nice, relatively AFK moneymaker. I highly recommend it for new players. It also makes getting around Runescape easier with the teleport tablets. That's 150 bones to banana tablets completed. That got us to 23 magic. Each tablet nets us a profit of around 240 to 250 GP each. We're going to finish off our 2 hours by cooking some shrimp and anchovies. Anchovies can be another profitable way of training a skill, but at the beginning you do burn them enough to lose a bit of money, and the recommended level for cooking these is level 20 according to the OSRSwiki. All of that got us to 13 cooking. Let's head back to the GE to do a quick bank value check. We finished our 2 hours with Chubby Bank with a skill total of 84 and a bank value of 121. We have now finished playing 2 hours on each account. During the first 2 hours, I'd have to say that each account was quite enjoyable to play. Cabbage Kid and Chubby Bank were the most relaxed to play due to the relative AFK nature of their skilling methods. QuestChad7 on the other hand was more intensive to play. I had to focus on completing the quests, and I also had to think several steps ahead in order to avoid as many mistakes as possible. I'm going to keep the total XP of each account a surprise until the last episode, but so far into the process, Cabbage Kid has a skill total of 101 with a bank value of 26k. QuestChad has a skill total of 67 with a bank value of 8k, and Chubby Bank has a skill total of 84 with a bank value of 121k. In the next episode, we'll be watching the progress made by each account during the next 2 hours. Thanks for watching and subscribe to see who wins.